He was a prodigy, wide receiver with raw talent, charisma, and a trajectory destined for greatness. From his electrifying performances on the field to his approachable personality off it, Kyren Lacy captivated fans and analysts alike. But behind the highlight reels and roaring crowds lay a story darker than anyone imagined. This is the unsettling truth about Kyren Lacy, a man whose rise and fall exposed the fragility of fame, the weight of secrets, and a terrifying death that left the sports world searching for answers. Fact 10. The meteoric rise. Kyren Lacy emerged from obscurity to become one of college football's most electrifying prospects. He began his career at Louisiana Lafayette, where, during the 2020 and 2021 seasons, he showcased his incredible skill set by racking up over 1,000 receiving yards and scoring 12 touchdowns. His performance earned him a reputation as a game-changer, drawing the attention of scouts from major programs. In 2022, he transferred to LSU, a move that many believed was a stepping stone to an illustrious NFL career. His imposing 6 feet to frame and remarkable physicality positioned him as a projected mid-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. However, beneath the surface of accolades and achievements, tensions were brewing. Teammates later revealed that Lacy struggled profoundly with the immense pressure of expectations that came with his rising star status, often isolating himself amid whispers of internal rivalries and distrust. Fact 9. The hit-and-run horror on December 17, 2023. Tragedy struck as Lacy's life unraveled in an instant. While driving near Lafayette, Louisiana, he lost control of his vehicle. Veering into oncoming traffic and colliding with a car occupied by Herman Hall, a 78-year-old Vietnam War veteran, the impact was catastrophic, and Hall tragically lost his life at the scene. Instead of stopping to offer help or call for assistance, Lacy chose to flee, leaving Hall to bleed out helplessly on the road. This act of cowardice shocked the community and raised questions about Lacy's character and judgment. Arrested in January 2025, he faced serious charges of negligent homicide and felony hit-and-run, with police reporting that he was driving recklessly at nearly twice the speed limit when the accident occurred. Fact 8. The cover-up attempts. The scandal deepened as Lacy's legal team made initial attempts to distance him from the incident, claiming he was out of town at the time of the crash, a blatant lie that was quickly contradicted by multiple witness testimonies. Forensic reports later confirmed that he did not apply the brakes before the impact, indicating an alarming level of negligence. Compounding the situation, blood tests allegedly revealed traces of substances in his system during the accident, though the specific results were never fully disclosed to the public. Moreover, the case was further mired by allegations of evidence tampering, which only served to deepen public distrust and suspicion surrounding Lacy and his team. Fact 7. The cryptogram post. 3 days before his untimely death, Lacy made a cryptic post on social media that sent chills down the spines of those who followed his story. Not everyone who smiles at you is your ally. At the time, many fans dismissed it as mere Vega posting, a typical social media sentiment that lacked context. However, in hindsight, it reads like a chilling warning, a foretelling of the betrayals and loneliness he experienced during his rapid rise and devastating fall. Fact 6. The night he vanished on April 12, 2025. The eve of his highly publicized trial, Kyren Lacy vanished without a trace after leaving a Houston hotel. Surveillance footage captured him pacing alone in the hotel lobby, his demeanor visibly distraught as he fidgeted with his hands and cast anxious glances around the room. Friends and family had noted a change in him leading up to this moment, as the mounting pressure of the impending legal battles weighed heavily on his mind. Hours later, in a stark turn of events, his body was discovered in a remote area far outside the city limits. Disturbingly, no witnesses were found, nor were any security cameras present to capture how he ended up there. This sudden disappearance sent shockwaves through the community and ignited rampant speculation regarding the circumstances surrounding his fate. Fact 5. The mysterious crime scene. Authorities, responding to reports of a body discovered in a desolate location, arrived to find Lacy's lifeless form surrounded by signs of a struggle. The scene was chaotic. There were signs of disruption, including scuffed dirt where it appeared he had fought back against an unknown assailant. Strikingly, Lacy's phone and personal items were missing, fueling rampant speculation about foul play and suggesting he may have encountered someone who intended him harm. The lack of surveillance footage in the area raised further eyebrows among investigators and the public alike, leaving the investigation riddled with gaps and unanswered questions. Speculations about organized crime, revenge, or other darker motives began to swirl, each theory more sinister than the last. Fact 4. The incomplete autopsy. The autopsy that followed Lacy's tragic death was met with skepticism, as the official cause of death remains undisclosed. Independent experts criticized the autopsy report for its glaring omissions, particularly the lack of thorough toxicology details and failure to account for bruises and injuries. Inconsistent with the provided narrative, family sources voiced their concerns, hinting at unresolved questions that lingered over the report, suggesting that they might not have been given the full picture of what transpired in those final moments. As more anomalies came to light, calls for a more comprehensive investigation grew louder, yet no further inquiries were pursued, leaving a sense of frustration among those seeking justice for Kyren. Fact 3. The NFL dream shattered. Just weeks before his untimely death, Kyren Lacy was in advanced discussions with NFL agents, poised to sign a lucrative contract that would secure his future in professional football and fulfill a lifelong dream. Despite the weight of the hit-and-run charges looming over him, insiders whispered that several teams remained interested, intrigued by his raw talent and potential to make an immediate impact on the field. The promise of an NFL career seemed attainable, and Lacy was reportedly optimistic about his prospects. However, his sudden death erased those hopes in an instant, not only extinguishing his dream, but also leaving a void in the lives of his teammates, coaches, and fans who believed strongly in his potential. Fact 2. The trial that never happened, Kyren Lacy, died just 2 days before his highly anticipated court date. On April 14, 2025, this tragic timing sparked numerous conspiracy theories that circulated through social media and online forums. Some suggested that Lacy orchestrated his own disappearance to evade public humiliation and the consequences of his actions. This theory was fueled by his increasingly erratic behavior in the days leading to his death, coupled with a worrying silence on his social media platforms. Friends and fans became alarmed, as his posts, once filled with updates about his career and personal life, stopped abruptly. Others speculated about darker forces at play, hinting at foul play, or even a cover-up involving influential figures, who may have felt threatened by his knowledge of insidious dealings. The lack of concrete information only intensified the intrigue surrounding his case, leaving many to question whether Lacy had become a victim of circumstances beyond his control. Fact 1. The closed case. In a shocking turn of events, the investigation into Kyren Lacy's untimely death was abruptly closed due to what officials cited as a lack of evidence. This announcement stirred outrage and confusion among his family, friends, and fans alike. No suspects were named, no motives were confirmed, and the details surrounding his death remained murky at best. The closure of the case, without a thorough investigation, prompted many to believe that powerful figures might have played a role in burying the truth. Critics pointed to the way the sports industry often protects its stars and the lengths to which some might go to ensure that certain narratives remain unchallenged. As a result, Kyren's family and supporters continue to demand answers, seeking justice for a life cut short and a career full of promise left unfulfilled. Kyren Lacy's story is a haunting reminder that behind every rising star lies a human being grappling with invisible battles. His death didn't just mark the end of a promising career. It exposed the cracks in a system that glorifies talent while largely ignoring the mental and emotional toll it takes on athletes. The questions remain. Was it suicide, murder, or a tragic accident? The truth may never surface, but his legacy compels us to confront uncomfortable truths. How many other stories like this are lurking in the shadows of sports? How many athletes are silently suffering while the world only sees their triumphs? The truth is out there. Share this video to keep the conversation alive. If you believe Kyren's story deserves more attention, share this video. Comment below with your theories. What do you think really happened? Subscribe for more untold stories that challenge the narratives we're fed. Let's keep discussing the realities that haunt those in the limelight.